Okay, I think we got the issue with... Hello.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
All right.
It's in stereo.
Oh, can you... Yeah.
Bah.
I'm in your other ear.
There you go.
I'm in that one.
There you go. It's like
I'm in the middle. You are slightly
Right.
to the right, and
little-
Tacey is slightly to the left.
Hello.
I think that's backwards. I should be left, and she should
Okay.
be right.
True. Okay. Well, it looks like the overlay is working. I have not had a chance to fix the chat bot yet.
Okay.
So anybody in the chat room, if you see one of your statements being deleted, let me know what it was, because I still can't figure out what it is that it's deleting. But it's deleting all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that shouldn't be deleted.
Right.
Yeah, it's normal stuff.
All right.
Not so sure how long that's been there.
What, that water?
Yeah.
Oh, was that?
Well, it's just water. What's it going to do?
Well, I got lemon in there. It's got a
There's
little
nothing going to be living in it.
funky taste. I think I grabbed the wrong bottle. I had a bottle of
Oh,
tea.
did you leave it last time? Or
No, this is, I brought the. I think I must have been in it since about Thursday or so.
there's that one.
Oh, there's my tea. Thank you. Well, there you
Well, everything looks stable, so I think we can go ahead and get started.
go. Let her rip, Tater Chip.
All right.
I couldn't see because of this microphone.
Please don't ever say that again.
XM. It's time for Weird Medicine with Dr. Steve.
I've got diphtheria crushing my esophagus. I've got Ebola virus dripping from my nose. I've got the leprosy of the heart valve, exacerbating my incredible woes. I want to take my brain out, blast with the wave, an ultrasonic echographic and a pulsating shave. I want a magic pill for all my ailments, the health equivalent to Citizen Kane. And if I don't get it now in the tablet, I think I'm doomed and I'll have to go insane. I want a requiem for my disease, so I'm paging.
It's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio and the longest running show on this channel. I'm your old pal, Dr. Steve, with my little pal, Dr. Scott, the traditional Chinese medicine provider who gives me street cred with the wacko alternative medicine asshats. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
And my partner in all things, Tacey. Hello, Tacey.
Hello.
This is a show for people who would never listen to a medical show on the radio. If you got a question you're embarrassed to take to your regular medical provider, or if you can't find an answer anywhere else, give us a call, 347-766-4323. That's 347.
Pooh Head.
Visit our website at drsteve.com for podcasts, medical news, and stuff you can buy I can't mention contractually. Most importantly, we are not your medical providers. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on this show without talking it over with your doctor, nurse practitioner, physician assistant, pharmacist, chiropractor, acupuncturist, yoga master, physical therapist, or whatever. All right, very good. Don't forget to check out Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. That's simplyherbals.net. I'm down a bottle of CBD nasal spray, Dr. Scott, because we had a friend over yesterday who probably doesn't want to be named, who's having some anxiety and panic and stuff. And she was like, "Do y'all have any gummies?" It's like, no, I don't have gummies. But I do have CBD nasal spray, so I gave her a bottle of it.
Thank you.
She at first said it didn't do anything, but then she was totally fine.
Good.
So I think it helped quite a bit.
It's brought it down a couple levels.
Yeah. I tried to get her to do the Trip app, and she wouldn't do it.
When she had too much anxiety to do the Trip app.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, she just doesn't like putting stuff over her face. That is a problem with that.
Yeah.
If you have issues with putting, what we're talking about for people who don't know, it's a virtual reality app that is a everyday changing virtual meditation and mindfulness environment, and it is the coolest friggin' thing. It is it's unbelievable how cool it
It
is.
is, and it's so incredibly accurate. You know, like the one where I was walking a plank off the side of a building.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh.
See, that's what she said.
Oh shit! Oh,
She said,
the
I don't want to be walking out on a
yeah.
2x4 on a building. That's Richie's plank experience.
Oh, the trip. Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the meditation one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've got Nanea Reeves
Yep.
or her AI equivalent reading a sort of a lesson for the day on how to be more mindful in your daily practice. And you can turn all that stuff off, or you could do the whole thing. And then it has breathing,
Helps you breathe,
and you're
right.
concentrating on your breathing, and it's got blue sparks going in and rust-colored sparks coming out when you breathe, and there's all these beautiful virtual environments.
Yes.
And then you do the first lesson, which is like 3 minutes, and then you rise up in the air to the second one, and then the third one you're floating in space, and we're all one and all that stuff. It's
Yes.
amazing
Yes.
how much if your anxiety could start at 10 and end up
Go
at
down
about
now.
a 4.
Yeah, that's
with
exactly
that.
right. Yeah, it's exactly the opposite of the walking out on a plank.
Yes, right.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, you can do that first and then do trip to calm down.
Yes, don't listen to me.
But if you have a virtual reality console, particularly a Meta Quest, check out Trip, TRIPP. It's in the App Store. You can go to tripp.com, or you can there is an app for your phone too. But anyway, and then don't forget to check out Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. All right, very good. We had a couple of people send me text messages through the voicemail line, and you could do that. I prefer to have you call in, but this person said, I got some nitrile gloves from Harbor Freight, and they hurt my hands. A week later, any idea what I could use to make it better? Well, nitrile gloves are supposed to be the ones that are hypoallergenic, and they suck. Latex was awesome. And all of a sudden, we had a few people with latex allergy. It turned out that in some people it was serious.
Yeah.
You're doing surgery on somebody with a latex allergy with latex gloves, and they're having anaphylaxis, and you don't know it, and all that stuff. But I wish we had a test so that for the vast majority of people who don't have a latex allergy, we could use latex gloves. Right. They're 1,000,000 times better, and you cannot take these nitrile gloves and put them over your head and blow them up like Howie Mandel used to do, I used to do.
Yeah, they just tear.
For all that, right? Well, they don't. They're awful.
Yeah.
You can't feel what you could with latex, and they're not as form-fitting, and they're relatively inelastic. They basically suck. Well, the positive was that people aren't allergic to nitrile, and but this guy says I got nitrile gloves from Harbor Freight. Of course, that great medical supply company, Harbor Freight. They hurt my hands and are still hurting. Huh. So I asked him, is he allergic to latex? And he didn't really understand the question, but I said he was on the bottom of his hands, not the back of the palm. And I said, nitrile's not latex. I was going to say, if you don't have a latex allergy, they're much better if you can get them. Then he said, they say nitrile on the box, so that's good. So I wondered if the brandy had some kind of powder on it or something else, that he was working with affected his skin. Mm-hmm. He said it started right after I used them. It's like almost like a burn. And so I told him, get a bigger size, because the small size could be causing some problems with his skin, and use some hydrocortisone and lanolin, because those are over the counter. I can make that kind of advice. Mm-hmm. And, OTC stuff, because anybody could recommend that to you. And I said, if you don't get better, see your PCP. He said, I'm not using them again. And then he wrote me back and said, the hydrochloric acid cream really helped. It was like, whoa, that's not what I said. It was just a typo. He said he's going to give the nitrile gloves away to somebody he doesn't like. And but he said it was like a miracle. So, yeah. And then his final thing was, I'm going to give those gloves to a serial killer to use so his hands will hurt and he can't murder people anymore, because so many serial killers use nitrile gloves.
Yes. cover their tracks. Yeah, but depending on the source of those
If
gloves,
you know a
may
serial
not,
killer, just turn them in.
yeah.
Don't just give them
Don't
gloves.
sabotage them.
Right, right. So they'll have a minor annoyance the
Yes.
next time they kill
Yeah,
somebody.
just make them mad when they're killing somebody. Oh God, that's funny. Yeah, but in some of the sources, like you said, Dr. Steve, some of the sources, the gloves may not be exactly the nitrile that they're saying they are.
Well,
depending
yes,
depending on the source that's making those gloves.
Yeah, right.
We had that during COVID. Getting some of those hand sanitizers from certain places. Some were better than others, and some
Correct.
you know
There were some
not as
distilleries
quality.
that just repurposed themselves
Yep.
to make hand sanitizer. It was kind of cool.
Yep.
I like that kind of stuff.
yeah, that is good.
But we don't know where these gloves came from or what was on them or what was in them or anything. So, you could put anything on a box. I'm not saying Harbor Freight is knowingly doing anything. And this doesn't have anything to do with Harbor Freight. He just mentioned it. It has everything to do with things being imported into this country. And sometimes, every once in a while, the FDA goes and looks at there was a case not too long ago of cock pills that were being sold in natural food stores and stuff in natural pharmacies that said for good for erections or whatever. And when the FDA, they'll randomly pull some stuff off and run it through the GC mass spec. That stuff actually worked. You know why? Because it had Viagra. in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Funny.
And you can't do that.
No.
You can't just put Viagra in your natural supplement and then sell it because that has to be sold by prescription because there are some real legit. What if someone, and this is why the FDA has some benefit in this country for sure, is what if the FDA had, or what if someone had been on nitroglycerin,
Okay.
and their doctor told them they couldn't give them sildenafil, the active ingredient in Viagra, because it would lower their blood pressure to the point where they would be at increased risk of having myocardial infarction, which is true. And so this person goes to their favorite, Whole Food pharmacy, where they spell it Farm. Oh, come on. But anyway, they go there and they see these dick pills and they try them, but they have sildenafil in them. And they're still taking their nitroglycerin. So that's why people crap on the FDA all the time. Listen, they have their faults, but they kept they kept thalidomide out of this country back when thalidomide was a thing. And any American kids that were born with birth defects from thalidomide was from thalidomide that was smuggled into the country.
Wow.
And that was because of the FDA. And then they catch stuff like this. So, I'm okay with them being there for sure.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, anyway. All right.
All right.
Let's see. What else we got? Oh, okay. Yeah. Then I had somebody else email me about this thing called biophilia. And I'm not going to talk about the product itself or the brand name, but they asked me, is this BS or not? And what they say, this biophilia thing is a concept that all of our organs have different quote unquote frequencies, and that you can detect these frequencies with a machine that's hooked up to the brain. And if you have certain parasites or Lyme disease or something like that, that will change frequency, and then they can then. And he sent me this printout that had all these different frequencies, and it says less than 0.425 bad, greater than 2 good. Okay, first off, bad and good those are value judgments. Normal and abnormal would be preferable, but anyway. So they have dyskinesia of the gallbladder, 0.246, duodenitis, 0.342. Everything on this guy's was bad that I'm reading here. Giardia, 0.207. Well, that's bad, right? Because it's less than 0.425. Didn't have a single thing that was good. Anyway, it says our specialty is Lyme disease care, cardiovascular support, spelled
Close.
incorrectly,
It's close.
methyl genetic nutrition, digestion, homotoxicology. Well, we're not biased, in that way on this show. Psychosomatic energetics. Well, okay, psychosomatic, I'll believe that. Temperamental character assessment.
Uh-oh.
I need it.
It's part of your psychosomatic
and intrinsic
disorder.
data field assessment. Do you know what that is?
Read it again.
Intrinsic
data field assessment.
Data field assessment. What's the intrinsic data field?
God,
This sounds like bioenergy stuff to me.
Yeah.
The main modality used are electrodermal screening,
Okay.
aka Vega test,
Okay.
an approved biofeedback FDA machine. Is that true?
Maybe. Yeah, I might be able to help you with that a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's look that up.
Okay.
I want to see what the FDA actually approved, because you could get some stuff approved your CBD nasal spray is not exactly FDA approved, but it's approved by some certifying body, right? And what is the certifying body?
Well, the state. I mean, they qualify the.
No, but there's some agency that has to look at it and say this is a qualified organic or something like that.
Well, yeah.
Or qualified nutraceutical. You told me about this once before.
Yeah, especially like for the stress lesson and the fatigue reprieve. There's a whole bunch of governing bodies, and you have to be. It's tested from everywhere from the growers to the manufacturers to the ship to the.
But you have to put a
producers.
stamp on yours, or you do
Yeah.
put it to enhance your saleability, right?
That's
so.
correct.
What's the stamp?
Yeah. Well, the stamp is good. There's a good food. Let me look it up. Hell, I
Okay,
can't.
God, you don't even know.
No, I don't know. I'm sorry.
I'm
It's been so
looking
long.
up
I'm sorry. Yeah.
what is IDF technology, and it's really boring. And it says
Okay.
it has its roots in the fields of psionics, psychotronics, plus radionics, which are fields of study that were developed in the 20th century, designed to interface intent with
In the 20th
electronic
century.
technology. These subtle energy fields contain intrinsic information necessary to create the blueprint for the organization of matter. And then it goes on and on like that forever.
In the year 2000. Developed in the 20th century. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, psionics. Do you want to know what the definition of psionics is?
Let's hear it.
The practice of extraordinary psychic powers. Come on.
Hey, that's right. That's right. That's in my lane. I have extraordinary psychic powers.
Okay.
They're extraordinary.
Characters who have
Guess
psionic
what?
powers are psionicists or wild talents. So, listen, I want to believe in this stuff. I do. I've just got to see it actually demonstrated that it works. So how do you do that? I can tell you right now how you can do a simple study to see if these machines can detect. Let's just pick out one. You have to define your endpoint. Lyme disease.
Okay.
You get 50 people with known Lyme disease and 50 who don't have Lyme disease, right?
Yes.
And you test them using our methods.
Right.
Now you run them through this thing. And if they can pick out the ones, statistically significant difference between the pro and con that correlates with positive tests using the gold standard, I'll believe it. Now, what they're going to say is, oh, no, but we can detect ones that modern science can't detect. Prove that.
Yeah.
Prove it or go F yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of this came from early Germany, where they with the Rife, the Royal Rife studies on frequencies,
Yes.
and a lot of that's where these transdermal things came from.
Now, you have some experience with this.
I do. Yeah, and measuring the electrical conductivity of different things. So what Dr. Rife did back in Germany was studied the resistance of tumors, resistance of skin, resistance of healthy bone versus diseased bones with frequencies, and then he developed and he developed this machine, the Royal Rife frequency machine, to stimulate these things. If it's a pathogen, if it's a bacteria or virus or a worm, that you could shoot a frequency into this pathogen and lights
What kind
and
of
tear it.
frequency? Audio, radio, what?
Electrical.
Okay,
Sending electrical frequencies through something.
Okay, so it's electromagnetic.
Electromagnetic. So what they're doing now, fast forward to today, the NIH actually uses this for research on glioblastomas. They use it. They're studying this type of radio frequency on electrical frequencies on glioblastomas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, MRI works by looking at the frequency of electron flipping
Okay.
based on what those electrons are attached to. And that can include tumors and stuff.
Right.
So you can see blood, you can see tumors, depending on the way that you tweak the microwaves that are going in.
Okay.
So I don't know if people are familiar. I'll give you the real quick how an MRI works. You put somebody in a strong magnetic field, and what that does is it takes the magnetic dipoles of the hydrogen ions and their associated electrons, and they start precessing.
Okay.
And now when you put in microwaves at certain frequencies, as those things absorb those photons, they'll go into a higher a higher energy state. Well, that's not stable.
Okay.
So eventually when that frequency passes, as you're sweeping these frequencies, those things will flip back, releasing a photon at a specific energy level. And then there's detectors to detect all that. And then you use a computer system to reconstruct an image from that. But what's cool is, like, if you have a T2 flare, then you and that's just basically a configuration of the microwave energy
my
that's being
goodness.
sent. Fuck off. When you do that, it will show changes in, say, blood flow in the brain,
Right.
stuff like that.
Right.
So, yes, I agree that certain things have resonances, but what I'm concerned about is people just learn that and they go, oh, well, there's resonances. We can use frequencies, and they start throwing out this pseudoscientific bullshit.
Right. No, true, very true. Yeah.
So I would be very interested to know if there is a resonant frequency, say, for hepatitis B virus.
Right, okay.
That you can then somehow detect, not in an MRI.
Right. But with a skin test,
But with a-
electro. Well, that's what they're talking about.
I know.
Is it skin dermal testing? They're holding a probe.
That's what I'm questioning.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll do some research because I've got some experience with that.
Well, you had
Yeah.
you had anecdotal
We
experience, so
did-
I'm okay with you telling the story
Yep.
because, listen, I do have an open mind,
Yeah.
but I have an open mind in the sense that I agree that I don't know everything. As a matter of fact, I don't know the vast majority of what's going on in this universe. So there are things that sound stupid, like bacteria causing ulcers, which we thought was insane. And then,
yeah.
H. pylori was discovered, and the guy had to really push it before people accepted it. And now it's accepted part of medical science. So, but that sounded crazy.
Well, we had a president. One of the early presidents died because his physician did not believe that if you couldn't see a bug,
That it existed.
that it didn't exist, so
Right,
wouldn't
right,
treat him with a bacterial infection. He wound up dying.
Yeah.
I'll look that up. But anyway, real quick, we had a very dear friend of mine had a nasty cancer that was considered not treatable, and they gave him about 6 months to live. And we found a naturopathic doctor out in Texas.
Which, by the way, the only crystal ball we have is statistics.
Yeah.
So when they say stuff like that,
Yeah.
that applies to a large population.
Sure.
You're talking about average. It doesn't apply to the individual. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, what they did, they thought he may have had a bad gallbladder, and they opened him up, and when they saw this cancer was completely all over his abdomen.
Yeah.
It was appendiceal mucinous adenocarcinoma.
Okay.
So it had spread from his appendix out through his entire.
Amazing you're able
abdomen.
to say that correctly. And you can't-
Sadly,
anyway.
it's practice.
well,
but,
okay,
which is
fair.
the shitty part of it.
Yeah,
but
fair. Sorry.
But no, but the bottom line is it's considered to be a very aggressive and poorly, with a really poor outcome. So we started looking at other things, and we found a naturopathic doctor out in Texas that did this dermal testing, and he had an electrode that he would touch to your skin, and it would run into a computer, and it would give you resistance from the electrode, and it would be processed just like an MRI. Kind of configures these readings,
Right.
and prints out something that we can interpret.
Right.
And that's kind of what this machine did. It was really it was pretty cool.
Okay, so you got that. So
Yeah. So what happened was he gave us a bunch of different formulas to take, which he did.
sell them to you.
Oh yeah, Lord, yeah. This shit's not free.
Right.
Well, the shit you do is not free either.
No, I know.
To
I
be-
don't
to be
make
fair,
any money
no,
off of
well,
the drugs that I prescribe.
you
But
don't.
anyway, go
no,
ahead.
you don't. But anyway,
I don't make any money off the
No, you
off
don't.
The tests
no,
that I
you
do.
don't. No, you don't.
Right.
No, I know
well,
you
but
don't.
this person did.
Well, yeah,
He
well, hell,
sold it to you.
Yeah,
I'm-
but I make money off the shit I make too.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I don't make any
Do
money.
you make money if you sell kisses, Tacey? She probably makes
I
a
wish
lot of
you
it.
would.
25 cents a kiss. Anyway, so what we did, we bought and he did these herbs, and he did this high frequency machine on the tumor.
Yeah.
And when he wound up about 3 years later having to have surgery for an obstructed colon,
Yeah.
the surgeon goes in and when he was looking at, and he's one of the very few doctors in the entire United States that does a specific surgery.
Yeah.
He said he'd never seen that cancer melt away.
Yeah.
Because normally what it does is when it wraps around organs, it's like the roots of a tree that
Right.
kind of dig down into the ground, but it digs into your liver and digs into your colon. That's why.
Yeah,
it's so-
looking for blood supply.
Right, and that's why it's so challenging to treat because you
Right.
can't just go in there and take it out. Because when you start pulling it out, it pulls everything else out with it.
Right.
And he did. He lived a little over 3 years, and most of it was a pretty good life.
Yeah,
but
so
I'm not. But
It's a good anecdote.
yeah. But I'm gonna tell you, we
I'm
followed
glad-
every Western medicine. We followed every Western medicine. Yeah,
Agreed.
Yeah, yeah.
I get it. I get it.
This was
So-
not. This wasn't in lieu of Western medicine.
And I'm not saying that didn't help him.
Yeah, yeah.
What I'm saying is you can't then turn around and generalize that it's going to help somebody else.
No.
And if they have this scary, amazing thing, where are the double-blind, placebo-controlled studies? Either there's one of two things. Either they don't want to do it because they know that if it really works, we'll start using it, and that'll put them out of business. But then that means that they're more interested in themselves
Yes, that's
than they
true.
are in wider adoption of this if it's so scary great. Or number two, they're pretty sure it doesn't really work. It's one of the two. Either one of those answers is not a good look for them.
No.
So, but anyway.
Well, the other one is just into and we've talked about this 1,000 times, but just getting anything tested through the FDA. I mean, it takes hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's
okay, you're
it's a
talking
real
about
challenge, yeah.
curing millions of people of cancer. That's worth a few bucks.
Yeah,
to
certainly would
put
make a little
into
bit of that. That is true. That is true.
So but I'm glad that your friend lived way longer than they thought he was going to.
Yeah, and please understand, I'm not.
There's no
saying it's a
way
cure,
that
yeah.
I could tell his family, and I wouldn't even want to.
Yeah.
A lot of this has to do with belief and stuff too.
Sure.
But
Oh, yeah.
to tell them, well, he was probably going to do that anyway,
Well.
because it's just like the person with influenza who gets influenza the day after they get the flu shot. You'll never convince them that the flu shot didn't give it to them. And in that case, I would want to try to disabuse them of that. But in this case, there's no point in it. It doesn't serve any purpose.
Right.
But I'm glad he did well.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, let's look into that. Let's see if there are any studies. And I'm willing to be convinced.
Oh heck yeah! Anything new, as long as it's research.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
they tease it out.
Yep. They've got some really fancy looking websites.
Yes, they do.
Really fancy looking websites.
Yes,
But
they do.
when you and I first looked at what was that, Stivax or whatever that thing was, that what it was, Stivax?
Yep.
And it the reason that the federal government wouldn't pay for it is because it's sold as what's called auricular acupuncture. So what it is it's a device that stimulates the earlobe, and it sounds like horse shit.
Right, yeah.
And they sell it for chronic pain and claudication, which is pain caused by bad circulation in the legs when you walk. And I've just been reading all kinds of studies that auricular acupuncture has been demonstrated time and time again to have to be effective for certain pain syndromes.
Yeah, especially post-operative pain.
Yeah,
for
and it was
cer-
for
yeah,
post-op
yeah,
pain.
Yeah.
And the hypothesis is that the vagus nerve has a branch that goes to it isn't really the earlobe, but it's the outer part of the
External
ear.
area, yeah.
And has a branch that is accessible there, and so that you can stimulate the vagus nerve from outside the body like that. And we did a few of them and then never could get paid for them. That was a problem.
Yeah.
And so we quit doing the proprietary one, but that is something, just auricular acupuncture, that you can do.
I sure did.
And so things that sound like horse shit sometimes are not horse shit.
Yeah, and sometimes they are.
I did a whole live stream, which will go public in about 3 or 4 days, just where people were calling in again, talking about the I word and whether whether there was it was complete horse cocky or not, and or horse paste, don't you know? Anyway, all right. So I'll put that up in a little bit. Okay, Tacey, you got some topics?
I sure do.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. Oh, well.
It's Tacey's time of topics. A time for Tacey to discuss topics of the day. Not to be confused with Topic Time with Harrison Young, which is copyrighted by Harrison Young and Area 58 Public Access. And now, here's Tacey.
Well, hello, everyone. So today I've got 2 topics. The first one is from MIT News, and it came from Scott.
Hey.
And it's about how engineers have developed a vibrating ingestible capsule that might help treat obesity.
What?
So what you do
Oh, yeah.
is you swallow this device before a meal, and it can create a sense of fullness, tricking the brain into thinking it's time to stop eating.
And then you shit it out, and you have to do another one
Wash
the
it
next
off.
meal.
I guess so,
Just wash it off and
but
pop it
they're
back
saying
in your
it could be affordable for people. So,
How does that work?
well, when you eat a large meal, your stomach sends signals to your brain, of course, that says, "Hey, I'm full," and then you stop eating, or you're supposed to. A stomach full of liquid can also send these messages, which is why dieters are often advised to drink a glass of water before eating. But they've come with this new way to take advantage of that phenomenon with this capsule that vibrates, and these vibrations activate the same stretch receptors that sense when the stomach is distended.
This actually sounds right.
Horseshit.
In animals who were given this pill 20 minutes before eating, the researchers found that this treatment not only stimulated the release of hormones that signaled
Sure.
satiety,
Satiety.
but also
Just means
reduced
fullness.
the animal's full intake. I knew what it meant. I just don't know
Yeah.
how to say it.
Yeah.
Also reduced the animal's food intake by about 40%. So if you could eat 40% less, I
Hell
mean,
yeah.
That'd be nice.
I would do
I'd
this.
do it right now, yeah.
When can we get them? I'll try it and I'll let everybody know.
Well-
Give you anecdotal evidence.
then they go on to get into the science of it.
If I swallowed one of those like cock rings with the vibrator, it's got the little vibrator in it.
I mean, I guess that might work, Steve, but I mean, do what you want. But
Don't try this at home, kids.
yeah,
I was
no,
just
that's
kidding.
bad idea. When the stomach becomes distended, specialized cells called mechanoreceptors sense that
Correct.
stretching and send signals to the brain via the vagus nerve. Hormones such as C-peptide, PYY, and the GLP-1 that we're hearing
Yep.
all about with these GLP-1 medications right now that people are having a hard time getting or are spending $500 a month on through compounded versions. All of these hormones work together to help people digest their food, feel full, and stop eating. And at the same time, levels of GHRELIN, a hunger-promoting hormone,
Ghrelin.
go down.
Yeah.
Are you doing that on purpose?
Yeah, I wanted him.
Oh, fire!
It was because you were talking about the Vegas nerve. I was going to do "Viva Las Vegas" by Elvis, but it didn't work. So
Yeah,
sorry.
it really didn't. So that's that. And let's see.
Isn't that wild though? That's a great story.
It is a great story.
Yeah.
Las Vegas.
Okay.
So they're talking about how the
Get a
behavioral
copyright strike
change
for that. It'd be
in
so stupid.
in animals is absolutely profound.
Say it again.
And the behavioral change in animals is absolutely profound.
Yeah, I'm going to try this. This makes sense. It's non-pharmacologic. If the pill is constructed properly, you just, poop it out. Now, I wonder how long it vibrates. Does it vibrate in your small intestine
It says
too?
it has the potential to overcome some of the challenges and costs associated with delivery of biologic drugs
Yes.
by modulating the enteric nervous system. The current version of the pill is designed to vibrate for about 30 minutes after
Perfect.
arriving in the stomach. But the researchers plan to explore the possibility of adapting it to remain in the stomach for longer periods of time, where it could be turned on and off wirelessly
Yes,
as
with an
needed.
app or something.
Here comes another stimulator. I can already see it.
Wait,
Yeah.
it's gonna stay in the. I don't like that.
Well, I mean, they're just looking at it.
Okay.
So,
Because look, if you take semaglutide, downsides: nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, constipation, stomach pain, bloat, emesis, heartburn, even runny nose and sore throat.
cost and,
And cost.
weight gain when it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, when you
And
stop it,
this
yeah.
thing might be the real deal.
Kind of interesting, isn't it?
Scott sent this to you?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. He was very
I'm
good.
going to give you both a bell.
Give thyself a bell.
Yes.
And it talks about how GLP-1 agonists aid in weight loss, but most of them have to be injected, and they are unaffordable.
Or you can't get them.
These MIT capsules could be manufactured at a cost that would make them available to people who don't have access to more expensive treatment options.
Well, wait a minute. It does sound like they're reusing them. I don't know about that. You have to dig through your stool, or they either
No,
have to be
of course
fabulously
not. I'm
cheap.
sure not. So anyway,
I mean, that's a lot of. I mean, it isn't a big deal to. All it is a little motor with an off axis cam on it, and that causes a regular motor with the cam on the axis will just spin, and there's no vibration or very little vibration. Right. You put the cam off to the side, and it'll like a washing machine with.
But you don't want vibrating like that.
Right. That's got something
tire.
too heavy on one side of it when it's spinning. So that could be done pretty inexpensively. It's still a bit of technology, particularly if you put Bluetooth in that thing.
Yeah.
So I'm voting no Bluetooth.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, just do it temperature when it hits 90,
or pH
6
even.
degrees or pH, then just turn it on.
But so they're planning to explore ways to scale up the manufacturing so that they can do clinical trials in humans.
I wonder if external vibration would do.
I was thinking the same thing.
Could you get one of those vibrators? I got you one, not one of those kind, an actual muscular vibrator, the gun-shaped thing with the ball on the end. I wonder if you put that up to your stomach before you ate and gave it a good go, if that would do anything. It would increase the resonant frequency of the stomach if you drank water too. If there was something,
it would vibrate the water.
Yeah,
it would move the water. So if it's empty, it wouldn't be moving anything. I was thinking of that, and I was also thinking just a standard TENS unit. Depending on, a lot of this would certainly depend on the amount of adipose tissue between the skin and the actual stomach organ itself.
Yeah,
that would certainly be an issue. We'll have to come up. I'm thinking, or those little what are those little things you swallow and they start popping in your stomach.
Oh, Pop Rocks.
Pop Rocks, maybe. Maybe that'll work. I'll try those.
So the second story I have
that's a good one.
is
I'm looking for external vibrator, and I see nothing at all. We may have just come up with something. I have a Volta, different kind of vibrator that came up.
Okay.
That's a long way to reach to the stomach.
Yeah.
If you go that way.
So
External concrete vibrators. No, thank you.
There you go.
All right, we're going to try it. Well, I know where that thing is. We've never used it for anything. We'll get it out, And before we eat, we'll drink 8 ounces of water and direct the vibration into the stomach under the sternum.
We'll do it too. Do you have like, is it a massage gun you have?
Yeah, it's a massage gun.
We'll do the same because I've got
Okay.
those too. Yeah. We'll do the same thing.
All right, we'll try different frequencies.
So the second
I
story
mean, for real.
I know. Yeah.
came from a friend of mine out of Charleston.
Okay.
And
He's been on this show, hasn't he? Monkey Goo.
I don't know if Monkey Goo's ever been on the show.
Okay, well, shout out to Monkey Goo.
Shout out to him. It says, I tried cannabis lube for sex, and now it's my vagina's cure-all moisturizer. So this is something you could think about, Scott.
Well, this is right up my alley too.
So, what's that
Okay, I'm
background
gonna
noise?
have to pause.
Steve. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm on call.
You working?
Okie doke. Let's see where we were. Sorry. Okay, we'll start there. Okay.
Okay.
So Scott said, this is right up my alley, too. You ready? 3, 2, 1, and go.
Well, actually, it says if marijuana isn't legal in your state, don't purchase THC-based products unless you have a medical card. So it's not up your alley. So,
Well, we have a couple of states nearby that do.
Yeah, pretty close.
yeah.
there.
So these people were in a relationship for 4 years, and of course, things weren't as hot and heavy as they were before. So they decided to call this project Project Spice. And they experimented with everything. And with matching panties and bras. I didn't
What?
read this really,
What?
so I guess that's 2 women. So I don't.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
But
Maybe.
the lube
right.
is
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
coconut oil based, infused with tea tree oil, and
Tea tree oil. Wait a minute.
tetrahydrocannabinol THC.
Right, tetrahydrocannab. Now you got me doing it.
It's the psychoactive component of cannabis.
Tetrahydrocannabinol, right? Oh God, now I'm having a senior moment.
Yeah.
There's cannabidiol, which is CBD, and THC is tetrahydrocannabinol. Okay, phew.
Okay. And so
But wait a minute,
reportedly,
tea tree oil.
I mean, I don't know. It's just what
That's the
was
stuff that we have talked about using on people's feet for smelly feet. We've talked about using it for 48 weeks to cure toenail fungus, but Vicks Vapor Rub and the prescription stuff, they all work as well, and it's all 48 weeks, so that's a whole nother story. I would not think that tea tree oil would be a good vaginal supplement.
well, it says right here, tea tree oil is what makes this lube considered a vaginal health supplement.
Really? Okay. All right. I'm
The
not
oil's
an expert on-
antifungal and antiseptic properties may help prevent urinary tract.
It's
and
what they
yeast
used to.
infections.
They used to use a tea tree oil infuser at the Don Cesar in St. Pete Beach. And when you walked in there, you got this smell that every time you walked in there, all the feelings would come back. Because aromatherapy really does work, but it is specific to your own experience.
To your own frequencies.
Yeah, well, it's to your own experience. Lavender may be relaxing for some people, but if you were ritually abused by your grandmother who had lavender all in her house, it's not going to be a relaxing scent for you. So it has to do with your own experience. But so I guess if somebody had that in their vagina and it reminded you of the Don Cesar, that would not be a bad thing. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so at first, she said the application felt cool and refreshing. 10 minutes later, she noticed how lubricated she was. And in terms of sex drive, she felt stoked to get frisky about 30 minutes after application.
Really?
I've used other lubes before that made me just as wet, but none have made me this eager to get it on.
Let's get it on.
So, applying THC topically doesn't result in the same feeling one might get from inhalation or food intake. So, it's like her vulva and vagina didn't necessarily get high,
Yeah,
but
right.
everything was much more sensitive. So, anyway.
I think that-
Okay, where can we buy this stuff?
Well, I've got the name brand. I didn't know if I needed to
Oh, I'm sorry.
say it or not.
Oh, she keeps stepping on. It's
Well,
okay.
who's stepping on who here?
I'm stepping on you.
So, who, do you want me to say the,
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
it's
I think it's okay.
it's,
Since we're giving it a positive review, I think
Quim
it's okay.
Rocks Intimate Oil.
Okay.
And the word quim is 17th century slang for vagina.
Yes, right. Yeah.
So,
Yo, what up,
anyway.
Quim?
Anyway.
Okay, now can you buy this anywhere? Though, if it's got actually THC in it, I'm going to say
I mean, it
no.
says not in states where it's legal, so I guess you got to go to a website and get it.
Okay. Now they do have CBD versions. That's where Scott can get involved in this. I think that might be something for you, Scott.
We know the tea tree is probably a stimulant,
Yes,
you would think, and the THC is certainly.
but THC would be one thing, but I don't. In CBD is legal in all states, right?
Yep.
It does say here that, as somebody who's anxious and constantly in their head, this feeling helped her focus on her body and not her thoughts.
Well, you know what else is good for that as well as oxytocin nasal spray. And that is obtainable without a prescription in most states that I'm aware of, and you could just go to a compounding pharmacy and just buy it. Oxytocin is the trust and love
The feel
hormone.
Good. Yeah, feel good.
And if you're having problems with intimacy, then, that can make you feel closer to the person that you're with. But that's interesting.
But,
Okay.
they're talking about how it's part of good health and not just good sex.
Yeah. Now here they have, I'm looking at their website. They have one called Smooth Operator. Great name. Intimate serum, and it's CBD and latex safe. So it should be water-based lube to increase blood flow, promote pelvic relaxation, and decrease inflammation pain. Again, got to see. You're making claims that I would need to see the
Well, this
data on.
this says keep in mind, since the intimate oil's made with coconut oil, you should avoid using latex condoms during sex, which I
Right,
guess
but these here are say that they're latex,
Latex
safe.
safe.
And the Oh Yes THC infused one is available in California only. They have latex safe serum, and then they have an intimate oil that is not latex.
Yes, it does say later that Quim's Rock Intimate Oil is only available in California.
Correct. Damn California.
They got it all.
Well, they got a lot of bullshit. At least they need to be able to have something
That's true.
that's
true.
positive.
They got,
So
they got other challenges.
we'll give them that.
That's true.
But yeah, Dr. Scott, I think intimate oil might be on
Interesting.
your radar.
Interesting.
So that concludes Tacey's
Well, those were
time.
good.
Outstanding,
Thank you. Very
Casey.
good. We have very little time left to take any questions,
Outstanding.
but let's do that anyway. Let's take some questions. First off,
Number one thing, don't take advice from some asshole on the radio.
here we go. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Come on.
Hey, Dr. Steve, it's Mike from New York.
Hey, Mike.
I was just prescribed metformin, and it says take with food. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Don't take on an empty stomach. I'm a fat fuck with diabetes. That's why I am on metformin. I don't ever have an empty stomach.
Right. Well, good.
Thank you so much. Just venting.
Okay. The reason that you take metformin with food is to reduce your bowel side effects. That's it. And it's the first few weeks of treatment when you start taking metformin, which is a drug for diabetes. It's one of the essential drugs for diabetes, really, for type 2. That it reduces bowel side effects. People can have voluminous, diarrhea that can just come on, and you're out in the middle of nowhere, or you're at the mall, and all of a sudden it's an emergency. So taking it with meals should help reduce that. And the good news is, Mike says he never has an empty stomach, so it's no problem. He's complaining about something that doesn't apply to him. It's funny.
He might have an empty stomach when he takes that dose.
Yeah, that's true. He will afterward.
At least for a little while.
Yeah, that's funny though.
Yeah, stick with it though, because those side effects they generally go away.
Yeah. You've taken metformin for some time,
Long
right?
time.
Not because of diabetes though. So she has another syndrome of insulin insensitivity.
Gotcha.
All right, let's see here. I wish Chanda were here for this. Oh,
This is Steve from New York. I
Hey,
have
Steve.
two questions.
okay.
They're going to make my wife really proud. But, first one, I know you used to be an undertaker and fuck around with dead bodies and shit.
No,
But-
I never was that. That was Chanda.
Serial killer, not a.
But I mean, I did dissect dead bodies
Yeah.
in medical school.
Sure.
So.
With COVID, if somebody dies of COVID, right,
Right.
what kind of precautions does the undertaker have to take, like, when messing with that body? Like, if the body is dead, let's say he's newly dead, can they catch COVID from a newly dead person?
That's a
And
really
secondly,
interesting question.
Years ago, I had a little tiny
Oh, that's a different question.
hiatal hernia.
Dang it, I can't.
But I want to know, how can I give myself a bigger hiatal hernia
What?
and or an umbilical hernia? Like
Why?
a big one. Don't worry about that question why I'm asking it, but
Don't worry about why.
Asking for a friend.
Right. You can make a hiatal hernia bigger by belching, by ingesting air. I used to be able to do the whole alphabet by swallowing air, and then I would blasted out in a long eructation, and I could say the whole alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. And I got to the point where I had opened up the area between my esophagus and my stomach to such a point that I started having really horrible reflux. And I have a hiatal hernia. So that would be one way. As far as the umbilical hernia, lifting heavy weights without an abdominal belt will do it, but don't do that.
Stick with it. Lift heavy enough.
What we're saying is these are things not to do to prevent those things. You do whatever you want to with that information. As far as the coroners, just think of how you get diseases, particularly COVID is a respiratory disease. So they would have to get live viral particles in a form that would get into their body in such a way that they would get infected. So if they stuck their finger in the lung or in the oral cavity right after the patient died and then stuck their finger in their nose, they might be able to get it. But those bodies aren't respiring, and the virus will die pretty quickly. It needs a living host. If you remember, they did studies where they were spraying COVID vaccine on dead things and seeing how long you could still detect it. And detectability isn't infectability. So, but there are some cells that are still alive in the body when you die. I mean,
and the mucus, until it dries up, still would be viable.
Yeah, so I've never heard of a coroner getting COVID-19 from a dead body, but I did get COVID from somebody, and I was completely PPE'd up. I had an N95, a face mask, the blue dress, the devil with the blue dress, and headdress, gloves, everything, and got it anyway. So I guess it's possible. I looked this up to see if I had ever heard of anybody getting it. If you want to look and see. You
don't think you got it in the changing room before you went in from one of your other providers?
No, because I remember coming out of that room and this person was yelling. They were so loud that I could feel the air going up under the mask. I could feel the wind on my face. And I came out of there saying, if I didn't get it then, I'm never going to get it. And I was 4 days later I got it, so I'm quite sure that's what it was. But anyway, all right. Well, we're about out of time. Let's say goodbye to everybody. Thanks for the folks who came into the waiting room and joined the Fluid family. And that's at youtube.com/@weirdmedicine. If you click the notification button, you will get notifications when we go live, and you can pop in. And we've got a nice little community that comes and just hangs out with us. And we'll try to interact with you. The chat bot will kick you out for no reason. I'm working on that. But anyway, appreciate you all. And thanks to everyone at SiriusXM whose steadfast support of the show sustained us over the years. And thanks to our listeners whose voicemail and topic ideas make this job very easy. Go to our website at drsteve.com. Until next time, check your stupid nuts for lumps. Quit smoking, get off your asses, and get some exercise. We'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. Thanks, everybody.
Goodbye.
Okay. And then I keep forgetting. This is why we need a producer. I just had the camera on you guys the whole time at the end there. Okay.
Had a quick question.
Yeah.
We need one at the end.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's do it. And were there any super chats or anything like that? Okay, good. That's fine. You all don't have to super chat. I was just going to scan through and see if we had any new members. Y'all can join. And if you join, you like Saxon Savage and Colin Carnes have joined. Then nothing really happens. Let's see. Poor Teddy Two Guns keeps getting his messages deleted. I don't know what's going on. Let me see. I say a lot of naughty things on YouTube.
I think he's on their watch list. The YouTube.
Oh,
watch
is that
list.
what it is?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Oh,
he's like a no-fly list.
Can you, when the chatbot takes them off, you can click and see what he said, right?
I can't know.
Are you sure?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let me check.
Because it says, hang on.
Could it be that his name has guns
Steve,
in it?
Steve, I'm sorry.
Maybe. It might be just because your name has guns in it. But since I say a lot of naughty things on YouTube, so they take down a lot of my things.
Steve, you are right. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I can click on it. I can read it. Okay. Yeah, I can.
I'm already hated here, not by you guys, but by YouTube in general. Poor old Teddy.
Poor Teddy.
Change your name to, yeah, it says Little Black Sheep, you could say, and the chatbot deleted that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Change your name to Teddy 2 Handheld Weapons and see what happens.
2 gloves or
Okay, Amy's in there.
Amy, Amanda, Brandon, King of Diffs, Corn Diffs.
Teddy responded to you, Amy, and said, I split my time between Anchorage and Seward. I prefer to live in Seward, but rent is astronomical down there. Wow. Every single thing that he has posted, the thing is...
Yeah, it got knocked off. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Right now I live in East Hillside, Anchorage, but I should be going back to Seward to work with the next month. God,
That's what we need a producer.
this is crazy.
It's the back of his head.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Teddy. Every single message that he's put in there is gone.
Yep.
Anyway, and he seems like a very nice person. So.
Yeah, the back of your head is all that's on the video.
Yeah,
What?
For like 5 minutes, the back of your head's the only thing we've been looking at.
Oh, no.
There you go.
I know why.
There you go.
I know why.
There you go. Because your head was facing the camera.
Yeah. That's my new camera. This is the one Tacey gave me for
cool.
for the holidays, and I'm using it in the live stream studio. But I used it yesterday when I was on WATP.
Gotcha. That makes
And,
perfect sense.
What I've learned about WATP. Well, let's just put it on the show anyway. All right, are we ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So anyway, before we go, we've got a couple of questions, 1 or 2 questions from the Fluid family. And you can join the Fluid family at YouTube at youtube.com/@weirdmedicine. And I need to tone down the chat bot because poor old Teddy Two Guns, everything he puts in there, even if it's just hello, gets deleted. I don't know what the chat bot's doing. It just doesn't like him for some reason. And but if you do that and then click on either join is 99 cents, or you can buy memberships for other people. For like $5, you buy 5 memberships, and then people who are in the chat room get a free membership.
Cool.
And we're not demanding that. If we get enough members, we'll do a members-only event. I might put the video that I did the other day that's going up for the public, put it as members only. That might do something for a week or something like that, so they get a sneak peek. But anyway, you could do that, but click notifications, and then you'll get notified. Follow us on Twitter at Weird Medicine, and then I usually will put up a notification there as well. And then you can just hang out. It's just it's if we get 50 people watching a whole show, we're lucky, and then maybe 200 will watch it delayed. And we're not pushing the video side at all, except when I do maybe like a live stream or something like that. So it's cool. We're not a video show or a radio show. We get all of our listens through podcasting on Sirius and on Sirius XM. But anyway, what the hell was I going to say?
I don't know.
Okay.
Who knows?
I'm an idiot. I had a specific thing that I was going to say about, yes. So this camera that I've got now installed is my close-up cam. Tacey gifted me this for the holidays, and it is an Ozbot AI 4K camera. It's really actually a very high-quality webcam. I've been using it for live streaming, and I put it in here because I was on WATP yesterday. I didn't want to be a million miles away like the regular camera is. And what I found on WATP, Carl gave me a show to review, and I clipped. Cardiff Electric helped me do some of the clipping, and I clipped up some stuff and had lines and had things to say about it, and I knew the show. And then they go into all the other stuff, and I'm sitting there during a Leslie Jones, Bill Maher segment that I didn't know anything about, and then a Stuttering John segment that I didn't know anything about. And I did have one good line in there, which I will leave for people to check out. It had to do with Vinnie Paulino. It was at his expense, unfortunately. But what I think what I need to do is, I'm not a funny person. Every once in a while I'll say something that's funny, but I'm not a funny person like these people are. And I can't really swim in that pool very well. So what I need to do is, but if I prepare, I'm okay. Do you prepare? Anyway, that's a new joke. Okay. Okay. Well, Scott prepares.
Yes.
So if you, so what I need to do is I need to do my segment and then get the hell out. And not ruin the show, because I always feel like I ruin the show after that. Now, the one I did with Dick Masterson several months ago, I loved that. For some reason, that it just clicked. I was, Dick and I had good chemistry together, and it was the things that we were covering were just fun and silly, and I enjoyed that. But this was a little bit more heavy. There's some stuff going on in the Dabbleverse that's kind of unsavory, and I'd like to, support them behind the scenes, but not, I just can't. I can't do it. I'm not quick enough on my feet. So I'll leave that to Carl and Shuley and Bob Levy and those guys. But anyway, but it was fun. And check that out, WATP, the first third of it when we were talking about this show called The Bombing Run is mostly entertaining. It's just the second half where I dragged the show down. But anyway, in my opinion, Carl always says no, but I don't believe him. But I do enjoy hanging out with those guys. And I will be in Tampa March 22nd for WATP Live. Whether I get up on stage and do anything, I don't know. I will be at the VIP meet and greet. And if you come to that, I'll have tchotchkes. We have pins now, right, Tace?
I don't know. Oh, kind you like lapel pins?
Yeah, we have the
lapel 'cause
pins.
everybody's going to want one of those.
Yes, they will. Stickers, all kinds of
Stickers are
cooler
cool.
stuff. I've got 2 different kinds of pins. I've got poker chips, all kinds of stuff. I got Tacey's 50th birthday poker chips, and it's a very hot picture of you, by the way. So I'll give the rest
several
of those
years
out.
old.
Yeah, that's all right.
Several years old.
So we have that. Okay, all right. That enough of that. What do you got, Dr. Scott?
Real quick question. We've got one from Brandon Robinson. He's talking about. He said he knows we've covered it before, but are there any procedures or things they can do for the floaters in his eyes?
Yes, there are.
Well, yeah, you can ignore it if it's
the first one is ignore it.
Yeah. If you've made sure you don't have any other eye diseases.
Right. You got to obviously get your eyes checked. I had a vitreous detachment, and it caused a thing called posterior uveitis, where it actually caused inflammation in my eye. So the vitreous is like clear jello. You think it's just fluid, but it's really clear jello. It's gelatinous. And when it separates, as we get older, it starts to shrink. And then at some point, the tension becomes critical, and it will actually separate from the retina itself, pulling a bunch of retinal cells with it. And then those will fill up the fluid between this now contracted jelly and the retina, causing floaters. And it's at the back of the eye, so that things that float to the bottom of the eye will appear in the top of your vision. Now, I saw a doctor. My vision, because of the uveitis, went from 20/20 to 2200 in the space of one day.
Yeah.
And I went to this guy who is my hero, ophthalmologist. He diagnosed it, sent me directly to a retinal specialist who is also my hero, who's stuck, and this is on our website. Or our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@weirdmedicine, there is a video of me getting a needle stuck in my eyeball for this. And they did it 4 different times, 2 in quick succession, but my eyesight went from 2200 back down to about 20/30, 20/40 within a day. Wow. And it's back to, I'm 20 years older than Tacey, and I can read things that she can't read, even with her readers on. So my vision is back to normal. But then it was like once a year for 2-3 years, right at springtime. Whenever the pollen or the allergens come out, it would kick back in again. And then one year it just didn't happen. It's never happened since, knock on wood. Yeah. But one of the things the reason I'm going through all this, not just because I'm a narcissist, like to talk because it's all about me, but because I did ask him, can I get rid of the floaters? And they said, yeah, you can, but we don't recommend it. What they can do is a vitrectomy.
Right.
They will suck all the gel and the fluid out of your eyeball, and they will put sterile saline back in there. at least you hope it's sterile. Because if there's one bacterium
Teeny.
gets in there and the inside of your eye gets infected, you lose your eye.
Yes.
And that was the thing, is that even if that was a 1 in 1,000 chance or even 1 in 10,000, I wasn't willing to take it.
No, agreed.
If you hang in there with the floaters long enough, your brain will erase them from your vision. I don't notice them now unless I'm glad I'm not a pathologist, because if I look in a microscope, it's all I see is a multitude of floaters.
Yeah, me too. And they can also do some laser therapies.
For floaters, though?
Yeah, there are
okay.
a couple. Yeah, there are
Maybe.
a couple little. Yeah.
Go see an ophthalmologist.
Yes, exactly.
Or a retinal specialist and ask them about that. I wasn't aware that they could do lasers on that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
One more little quickie.
Yep.
From Saxon, needs a new primary care doc. Any tips on how to find a good one, or red flags?
Yeah, word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth, number
That's
one.
the best way.
Yeah.
You can go on health grades, and one day I'll tell you a story about health grades that's quite humorous. I might even do that as a live stream, because the big reveal at the end is quite funny. But you can go to health grades, but they're bullshit. If they get one bad review, and it's usually the bad reviews because you wouldn't give them Lortab when they wanted or something, they go on or your staff was rude to them or whatever, then they will spam the review section so that it dilutes that out.
Yeah.
So if you get, let's say you have 5 reviews on them, one of them is bad. So you've got 20% bad reviews. They'll hire a company to go in and do like 200 reviews, and now you have one bad one. So it's
because you don't have to go see that. You don't have to.
No, anybody can put anything on there, and there's companies that's what they do. The reputation restorers or reputation builders, and you just pay them, and they've got rooms in some location on this planet, and with people that just sit there and put in positive reviews for people.
Yeah.
So
word of mouth is
word of mouth.
Number one way to do it.
Yeah, talk to your friends. Who do you go to? Who have you heard sucks? What happened? Well, I wouldn't send my dog to that. And well, that's if you hear that twice, then that's usually pretty good. That's correct.
Can you get in when you need to? When you call the office, how the office
and that's
treats you?
Got to have a solid office front office.
That's a good
huge.
triage. Is when you call them. Are you comfortable with the procedure when you call in?
And you know as well as I do, the front office
can make you or break you.
And it's also pretty indicative of what the back office is going to be like.
Yeah.
Just like coaching, a coach's personality, the players tend to have, and vice versa, and it's the same thing in our offices.
Well,
you get somebody that's got a good office manager. And
I will agree with that, but you get some providers who just don't pay any attention to what's going on up front.
Okay, yeah.
And then you will get front office people who think that their job is to, quote unquote, protect the provider from this, that, or the other. Maybe they get stressed out or whatever, and so now they're going to, quote unquote, protect them. And it's like in Jonathan Swift's and Gulliver's Tales. You remember they had to go to whatever land it was where you had to go through the flappers. Do you remember that?
No.
And the king...
Nobody read that book.
The king would sit there and you'd ask him a question, and then these flappers would take goat bladders, if I remember correctly, and beat them around the mouth, and then that would tell them that they needed to talk. And it was really what it was a satire about bureaucracy. But there's bureaucracy on the small scale in these offices too, where the front office people become the flappers for the provider. And a lot of times the provider doesn't know anything about it. And you go to your provider and say, well, your front office staff was bullshit. And they go, oh, God, I didn't know, because they really are just trying to practice medicine. We start getting told, well, just don't mess with that because you're an employed physician now. Almost everybody is. So we'll take care of the front. You just see patients and they don't pay attention to it.
Yep.
So, but they, you can't separate mind from body. You can't separate the front office from the provider. And so I agree with Scott. You got some responsibility to make sure people are talking the right way. My office is in such a position that when one of my nurses is talking to a patient, I can hear them. And particularly in the beginning when they were getting started, I would stick my head out after they hung up and sort of offer very gentle and constructive criticism on that might have gone better if you had said it this way instead of that way, that kind of stuff. And you should have a just say yes policy, even when you're saying no. No, we can't do that, but this is what we can do. You're saying yes to something. All right? Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Always thanks go to Dr. Scott, Tacey. Thanks to everyone who's made this show happen over the years. Listen to our SiriusXM show on the Faction Talk channel. SiriusXM, channel 103, Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, on demand, and other times at Jim McClure's pleasure. Many thanks to our listeners whose voicemail and topic ideas make this job very easy. Go to our website at drsteve.com for schedules, podcasts, and other crap. Until next time, check your stupid nuts for lumps, quit smoking, get off your asses, get some exercise. We'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, let's do the opening. You ready?
Yep.
It's mucous membrane, bro.
I don't care. I don't care. My jokes don't go over. I don't care. Everybody.
If you just read the bio for Dr. Steve, host of Weird Medicine on Sirius XM 103 and made popular by two really comedy shows, Opie and Anthony and Ron and Fez, you would have thought that this guy was a bit of, a clown.
Why can't you give me the respect that I'm entitled to?
I've got diphtheria crushing my esophagus. I've got Ebola virus dripping from my nose. I've got the leprosy of the heart valve, exacerbating my incredible woes. I want to take my brain out and blast it with the wave, an ultrasonic echographic and a pulsating shave. I want a magic pill for all my ailments, the health equivalent of Citizen Kane. And if I don't get it now in a tablet, I think I'm doomed and I'll have to go insane. I want a requiem for my disease, so I'm paging Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve!
From the world-famous Cardiff Electric Network studios in beautiful downtown Bedabbler City, it's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio, now a podcast. I'm Dr. Steve with my little pal, Dr. Scott, the traditional Chinese medicine provider, gives me street cred, the wacko alternative medicine assholes. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
And Tacey, my partner in all things. Hello, Tacey.
Hello.
This is a show for people who have never listened to a medical show on the radio or the internet. If you've got a question you're embarrassed to take to your regular medical provider, if you can't find an answer anywhere else, give us a call, 347-766-4323. That's 347-POOHEAD. Follow us on Twitter at Weird Medicine or DRScottWM. Visit our website at drsteve.com for podcasts, medical news, and stuff you can buy. And our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@weirdmedicine. Most importantly, we are not your medical providers. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on this show without talking it over with your healthcare provider. Check out stuff.drsteve.com. That's stuff.drsteve.com. And before we go any further, I need to pay Dr. Scott. So let's do that now.
And though you will try to always get it right, the beauty of life lives inside of you. And I hope someday you find it too.
You've heard all the ads and seen the shops for CBD, and maybe you've wondered, what's the hype? Cannabidiol is known for its ability to provide non-habit-forming relaxation, and now you can have it in a convenient nasal spray. You can take it anywhere. Just go to simplyherbals.net. That's simplyherbals.net. And check out Dr. Scott's Buffered Saline CBD nasal spray. Just a couple of toots. You'll see why he's America's top CBD nasal spray. While you're there, check out his line of supplements from fatigue reprieve to stress less. Dr. Scott has it all. That's simplyherbals.net. Simplyherbals.net.
And don't forget stuff.drsteve.com. That's stuff.drsteve.com for all your Amazon shopping needs. And roadie.drsteve.com is ROADIE. If you play a stringed instrument, you got to have the Roadie robotic tuner. That thing's amazing. And what's up? Brian May said, these bloody bastards came out with this at the end of my career. He was amazed by it. And patreon.com/Weird Medicine. We're doing live streams. Tacey and I are going to start maybe, we've got an exam room that we need to do with a celebrity guest.
Oh.
And also cameo.com/Weird Medicine. I will say, fluid to Yo Mama for very little amount of money. And all of that money goes to a very good cause, to me and my ham radio account. I have a ham radio account in a different bank where I can't touch it until my buddy Dale and I decide what we're going to buy for our next ham radio project, which still is moon bounce. It's too damn cold to get out there and shoot signals to the moon if we don't have a real good odds of hearing them back again. So we're going to wait till it warms up a little bit. But anyway, all right. Anything else?
Nope. I think that's it.
All right. Let's tag this one. Save as. All right. What's the date today?
So today is the 28th.
28.
And it's going to be broadcast on 2/3/24. 2/3/24.
Do you want this on?
Yeah, I'll just plug it in.
Can I turn it off now?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Thanks, Taste.
Thanks, Taste.
There's old Taste.
Hey, Taste. Louder milk.
Oh, yeah, we'll check it out.
You got to check it out.
The other thing we got to do is I was on Tukey's show, call screening, because I hooked him up with our call screening software. And let me see, where do I put this? Okay. But I hooked him up with our call screening software, and I call screened as Delmer.
Mm-hmm.
It was the dumbest.
Awful.
It was just, hello, hey, Tukey Joe, how can I help you?
God.
Can I help you? And if they didn't answer, he'd go, Myrtle, is that you?
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Yeah, let me see if I can find, let me see. Oh, yeah, Tukey call screening. Let me see if I can find one real quick. It got weirder and weirder as time went on. So this is an early one. I don't think they can hear that. Let me see. Oh, they can't hear it. Never mind. I'll post it. He's got it on his Patreon, but I'll put it up for free somewhere.
Funny.
Yeah, it's stupid.
That is funny.
hey, you varmint. And they'd say I want to tell Tukey some dumb joke, and Delmer would just roar. Oh, you said something out there, I'll tell you that.
Oh, God. Just the Tukey show is enough.
Yeah.
I think that's
Tukey's
enough.
funny.
That is hilarious.
All right.
Delmer.
What are we playing?
Delmer. Let's try a little air conditioning.
Oh, no. Amy said her dad broke his Big Joe mug. You know what? I'm going to have our guy make new ones because those came from Cafe Press, and I canceled that account a long time ago. People would buy a $18 T-shirt, and I would get 50 cents. It's like, screw that. This is just a vehicle for them to make money.
Yeah, no, that's zero.
So I'll just give stuff away. I'd rather just give it away. So, Amy, send me an email. drsteve202@gmail.com, and I will send you I'll get a mug made for you. Yeah, you just wrote in there that you already tuned up. That thing is not in tune, bro.
Oh, the mandolin is.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to do the guitar. The guitar.
You got that git box?
I got a little bit just a little bit of AC.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Everybody likes this part.
Oh yeah, it's perfect.
This is the best part.
It's the part when we're not playing. It's the best part.
This damn bass.
I think it's just the weather we've had between the hot and cold.
Yeah.
Lord.
No, it didn't go out of tune at all.
Oh, it didn't.
Nope.
God, my mandolin wasn't even close.
Well, we should store it downstairs instead of in here.
Then I'd have to carry it. It's too much work. Hey, you can't turn on that air conditioner just for a sec?
Yeah.
Please. I mean, I could take my sweater off.
Oh. Thank you, King of all diffs. Honestly, I feel more comfortable doing Dr. Ralph than I do doing Dr. Steve on WATP, particularly when certain topics come up.
So, let's try one.
Okay.
Brand new one. John Prine.
Okay. Always okay with John Prine.
The Bottomless Lake.
Okay.
Version 2 with 35 people. It's going to be, and we're going to play it in D as in dolphin.
Okay. I got it.
Here's a story of a man, a story of a man and his family, and the big trip that they took. Well, I heard it all in the and I read it. They ran a car in the Erie Canal, but the car didn't have no brakes. Said, oh my God, this car's gonna fall to the bottomless lake. Here's a story of a man and his family, the big trip that they took. I heard about it in a real history book. So the it's a here's a story in the big trip that they took. Well, I heard it all in a restaurant, and I read it in a history book. Ridden the car at the Erie Canal, and the car didn't have no brakes. Said, Ma to Pa, my God, this car's gonna fall into the bottomless lake.
Okay, let's get the mix right, and then okay, I can play that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get you a little sweetening,
Little
sweetening on your voice, Laura.
Little sweetening. Here's a story. Here's a story. Here's a story. Here's a story. Here's a story.
Okay.
Here's a story of a man and his family and a big trip that they took. Well, I heard all about it in a restaurant, and I read it in a history book. Well, I read in the car at the Erie Canal, the car didn't have no brakes. Said, Pa to Ma, my God, this car is gonna fall into the bottomless lake. Ma turned to Daddy with a pale face, said, I've done something horribly wrong. Well, the water's still running in the bathtub, and I think I left the kitchen light on. Then I heard a crash, and the car was splash, and the compass spun around and around. Oh, heaven's sake, we found a lake, and I think we're all gonna drown. And we're falling down to the bottom of the hole in the ground. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. I'm so scared I can barely breathe. I may never see my sweetheart again. There was plenty of food in the backseat, and the windows were rolled up tight. So we nibbled on the chicken leg and told stories way up through the night. Well, Pa told one that he told before, and the belly got a baby ache. Well, this car's gonna fall into the bottomless lake. We are falling down on a hole in the ground. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. I'm so scared I can hardly breathe. I may never see my sweetheart again. Papa played music on the radio and Mama rocked the baby to sleep. He said he would have taken the other road, but he didn't realize the lake was so deep. Well, if there had been there at the end of the pier, we might be Uncle Jake's. Instead of looking at fish in the window, I wish we'd hit the bottomless lake. Instead of looking at fish out the window, I wish we were looking at the bottomless lake. We are falling down to the bottom of a hole in the ground. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. I'm so scared I can barely breathe. I may never see my sweetheart again. Yep. So if you ever go on a big trip, you better be careful out there. Start everything good foot and wear clean underwear. Take along a Bible in a backseat, read of David and Solomon. For if you make the mistake in the bottom of the lake, you may never see your sweetheart again. If you make a mistake at the bottomless lake, you may never see your sweetheart again. If you should make a mistake in the bottomless lake, you may never see your sweetheart again.
All right, I probably get it the second time you do it.
I do. You would. What? But the words in that song.
Yeah, there's so many words.
Oh my! But they're so.
Oh, Mozart, there's too many words.
Yeah, he said he got this.
Which word should I remove?
Yes, yes, no.
Or Your Excellency.
His but John Prine tells the story of his grandfather was driving him around the lake near their hometown, and he told him this crazy story of how this was a bottomless lake. And they had to have good brakes, because if it didn't have good brakes, he'd run into the bottomless lake. Wow. That's how he wrote this whole story. Isn't that great, though?
That's very good. All right, you want to try it again?
Yeah, let's see. We'll just go maybe just a hair slower up. Here's a story of a man and his family and the big trip that they took. Well, I heard it all about it in a restaurant, and I read it in a history book. Well, they were in the car at the Erie Canal, but the car didn't have no brakes. Said my pa to Ma, my God, this car is gonna fall into the bottomless lake. Well, Mom turned Daddy with a pale face. I've done something horribly wrong. Well, the water's still running in the bathtub, and I think I left the kitchen light on. Then I heard a crash and the car went splash and the compass rolled around and around. Over goes right above the lake, and I think we're all gonna drown. We're falling down to the bottom of a hole in the ground. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. I'm so scared I can barely breathe. I may never see my sweetheart again. There was plenty of food in the backseat, and the windows were rolled up tight. So we nibbled on a chicken leg and told stories way up through the night. Well, Pa told one that he told before, and the belly got a baby egg. Said Ma to Pa, my God, this car's gonna fall into the bottomless lake. We are falling down to the bottom of a hole in the ground. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. I'm so scared I can barely breathe. I may never see my sweetheart again. Well, Papa played the music on the radio. Mom rocked the baby to sleep. He said he would have taken the other road, but he didn't realize his legs so deep. Well, the ferry'd been there at the end of the pier. We might be halfway on Gold Jakes. Instead of looking at fish out the window, I wish we were by the bottomless lake. Instead of looking at fish at the window, I wish we had hit the bottomless lake. We are falling down to the bottom of the hole in the ground. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. I'm so scared I can barely breathe. I may never see my sweetheart again. So if you ever go out on a big trip, you better be careful out there. Start everything out on a good foot and wear clean underwear. Take along a Bible in the backseat and read of David and Solomon. For if you make a mistake in the bottom of the lake, you may never see your sweetheart again. If you make a mistake in the bottom of the lake, you may never see your sweetheart again. If you make a mistake in the bottom of the lake, you may never see your sweetheart again.
That's good. Now in the interlude, we need to do the regular form.
Yeah.
So between verses, if you want to do it, then it's the G.
Yeah, I would like to, yeah. And I was going to play that, but... So the G, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I think so. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I just have to... After we do it a couple times, I can figure out where to get my breath.
That's good.
I love it.
Put that on the list.
Oh, yeah, I've got that right there. It's in D. And I'll work on getting my breath a couple times.
No, that's fine.
How about a little Well, I used to spend my nights down at the bar room. Feel like a little George Jones?
Sure, I'll do whatever you want.
Tennessee whiskey? Tennessee whiskey, any? Unless we got any requests.
Does the mix sound okay out there?
I think Amanda's still there.
Yeah, I've been cutting out these parts when I do the final publish.
Oh, yeah.
It's only on there just for a day or two, and then I go in and trim off everything but the first. Okay, which one do you want to do?
Let's do the...
Chris Stapleton?
No, George Jones. Yeah.
Okay, which version?
Yeah, George Jones version 1.
411?
Yep. 411 in E. E is in Elvis.
Got it.
Yeah, Amanda's right. They're begging for primary care docs out there. I used to spend my nights down at the bar room. Liquor was the only hope I know. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottle and brought me back to feeling too far gone. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey, and then pick back, sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy, and I stay stoned on your love all the time. That doesn't make sense right there. Why is it, Steve? Why is the interlude got a B and a C in it, and the rest of the song doesn't have that at all? Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, because it's changing keys.
Because it's changing keys, yes. Because it goes
keys.
Yeah, you're right. So let's do that again.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
all right. Oh, I like this. It's going to have a key change.
Sorry about that.
Fun.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Be glad. You know what I may do? I may do this in mandolin.
Really?
Kill my please, thank you. Yeah, and
I'd be better
with
on
a
that one.
with a flat. I don't want to have to do the math. So we'll go a little sort, and then the that first "You're as smooth," we'll just kind of hold that, and then it picks back up the pace as strawberry wine, and then it goes to that flat. So, all right.
Then it just stays in F the rest of the time. Okay. All right.
So B flat. I'm
gonna back off on your mic just a little bit because you were.
And I can get out of it a little bit too.
Clipping too. Yeah, if you're gonna do the just back off.
No, wait, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it until I already did it. It's just poor Mike.
Classic Mike technique.
Yes.
All right, you ready?
Yep. 3, 2, 1. I used to spend my nights down at the bar room. Liquor was the only love I know, but you rescued me from reaching for the bottle and brought me back to feeling too far gone. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy, and I'll stay stoned on your love all the time.
C.
I was almost a C.
Damn it! Oh, that's it. You gotta get that right.
I'm sorry. Let's go. No, I'm sorry.
Go back to "You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey."
You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. I stay stoned on your love all the time. I look for love in all the same old places. Found the bottom of the bottle's always dry. But when you poured your heart out, I didn't waste it. 'Cause there's nothing like your love to get me high. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. I'll stay stoned on your love all the time. And I'll stay stoned on your love all the time.
There's one more.
Oh, that's all. I'll stay stoned on your love all the time.
Go to the B flat. You see how it changes?
Yep.
So let's do the last chorus.
Oh yeah. So let's do it. You're as smooth. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey.
Sorry. Okay. Start again.
You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. And I stay stoned on your love all the time. I stay stoned on your love all the time.
All right.
That was better, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Once I found the B flat.
Yeah.
You're playing a B flat, and I was playing not a B flat. Let's do it one more time. Let's do this song. Is that cool with you?
Yeah.
We'll do the whole thing. Start from the top. So I'll just. Well, I used to spend my nights down at the bar room.
I'm just checking my intonation.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Myrtle. Saxon says Myrtle was married to George Jones for 10 days and nights.
Well, yeah, he was a real fine feller. I'll tell you that. I love them sequin outfits he used to. That would get this old widow woman's heart a fluttering. I'll tell you that. It surely did. But he was into the corn squeezing's awful heavy, though, as you can tell from this song. Take it away, Scott.
Used to spend my nights down at the barroom. Liquor was the only love I know. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottle.
Sorry.
And brought me back to feeling too far gone. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. And I stay stoned on your love all the time. I look for love in all the same old places. Found the bottom of a bottle's always dry. But when you poured your heart out, I didn't waste it. 'Cause there's nothing like your love to get me high. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. I'll stay stoned on your love all the time. I'll stay stoned on your love all the time. Preach it, Myrtle.
That was a little better.
That was a little better, yeah.
Put that on the list. We can do that one.
I'm gonna
Maybe
say
one
right
I
now.
could play on the piano.
Let me see right now. I love it.
Instead of the bass.
I
We could
love it.
program the bass, and I just play it on the piano.
We need to do that with the bass. Or with your piano. We also need to do it with that Van Morrison song, "Into the Mystic."
Oh yeah.
So you can play that on the keyboard.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, boys and girls. 3 o'clock.
Thank you, my friends.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks to the two of you who hung out to listen to music.
Thank you, man, honey. Hope you guys have some good weather up there.
And Amanda, so King of All Diffs is the one that's going to be sitting with us. He won the second ticket. And he seems like he'll fit in very well. And, I like him. So hopefully you will too. So it'll be the three of us in the VIP
Questionable morals. Yeah, kill my blue, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Questionable morals and.
I don't know about that. King is always around, and he's always very positive. So it was not hard for him to win the tickets.
Oh, cool.
So anyway, all right. And if anybody else is going to Largo, March
Thanks,
22nd,
thank you.
we will. Your consolation prize is free beer from me, and if you're sober or underage, hearty handshake.
A heart hug.
Yeah, we'll talk about ice driving. Yeah, Amanda. God. We had to get to this event, and we got outside, and Amanda said, "I'll drive." Mm-hmm. And it was the coldest day of the year in Rochester.
Oh, goodness.
Snow and ice everywhere.
Oh, no.
Couldn't get it off of her windshield.
Oh, no.
And we were like, fuck, we're going to be late. Anyway, we weren't, and it worked out perfectly.
I'll say if anybody can drive in this stuff, it should be Amanda.
Amanda's good. There's a few people who show up for all of these events. She's one. This lady named Brenda shows up, and she's hilarious. Jerry is, I think, local to Rochester, and then, of course, all the WATP folks. But there are people I see at all of these events, that sort of follow them around like the dead, like me, because I'll go to every event I can go to. They're going to do one in Vegas. I'm definitely going to that one. So
That'll be fun.
Yep. Anyway, all right. Thanks, everybody.
See you guys.
See you, I think, next week. Yeah, I think I'm here.
Yes, next week. Yep.
All right. Take care.
Bye, guys.